Barry.
Hi,
So the
Barry.
link worked. Hi there, guys. Nice to see you this morning.
Good. So you can see us. Because for some reason, I can't see you this morning, but it's okay.
I can see Lee. I can see Lee.
I can
Okay,
see
great.
everybody.
Yay. Success. All right, guys. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for giving up your time and for talking to us about Flyball. I think the first time, the first time I saw the sport, obviously there's TikToks going around, but I think I said to you yesterday I was at the vintage show last year in Pretoria, and they did a flyball demonstration, and that was just, I would just sit there. It's like, this is crazy. How do you do this? How do you train the dogs? You know, everything is involved. So I'm really excited to have you guys here today and just to explain to everyone about the sport and how they can get involved in the sport and just have fun with it. But I think just to kick off for everyone that's on the live as well is maybe Lee, just tell us a little bit about you, how you started in flyball, and one of your favorite moments in flyball.
I was saying to you already, I'd also seen it online. I had once I went out, I don't know if you'll even remember this, Barry, but I actually came to watch you guys once, before I even had dogs, and I was kind of in the dog world a little bit, and I part of why I got the breed that I got was because they're actually quite good at flyball, and when I had picked this breed, I knew that I wanted to do flyball. I have whippets. I have two of them. They're like small greyhounds. I wanted to do flyball, and I was having trouble finding a club to do it. And so I started with agility, and my agility trainer then was also involved at flyball at another club. And so I went and started with my first dog. That was at the end of 2020. It was also quite hard because everything had been closed for COVID. And Barry was actually one of my coaches. So I've been doing flyball for about 5 years. Flyball, it's hard to pick just one good memory. There's so many, but I think what is really special about flyball is that you really become like a bit of a family because it's a team sport. And also, like, we give our dogs so much grace, because even if you and your dog are having a great day, another teammate might not be, or their dog might not be having a great day, and then there's a mistake made, and that can cost you a race. And everybody's just trying their best, and we do this because we love our dogs. So there's no pressure on them to really win. We obviously winning is nice, but just for them to do their best and to have a lot of fun. We're very, very loud. It's a very chaotic sport, but it's like just wonderful.
Okay, great. And Barry, for you, why your passion for flyball?
Well, I've always been surrounded by dogs. I grew up with dogs. My earliest memories have always been around dogs. I was lucky to have chosen the right parents who also loved dogs, and they made sure there were always dogs in the house. So it was just a natural progression. I got my second border collie about 12 years ago, in fact, and I joined Cape Handlers to do obedience. I thought that was the right route to go with the border collies, to do obedience. But I was bored, my dog was bored, and the trainer said to me, your dog is overweight, and so are you. So I suggest you rather go and do flyball. And and that was it. So I joined the flyball group. There was a very small group right in the beginning. It was fairly new to Cape Handlers. Joined the flyball group, and I really battled with my dog. She was a natural herder, and she just wanted to herd all the other dogs running, people running, and it was really difficult in the beginning. But I persevered, and I developed the chicken egg solution. Okay. My dog was crazy about chicken eggs, and she would do anything for chicken eggs, and that's how I managed to get it trained up. and was involved in flyball for about 10 years. She was a grand champion, crossed over the Rainbow Bridge about a year ago. And that's where my love for flyball started. 10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And then, like both of you, I mean, you mentioned now, Barry, the Border Collie, and you've got the Whippets. And Barry, you also work with Pure, and we'll talk about that a little bit later with the power breeds. So this sport is open to any breed? Lee?
So definitely there are that dogs that do really, really well at flyball. Certain breeds like the Border Collies and the Whippets overseas, they actually crossbreed them and make Border Whippets and all kinds of fancy sporting dog breeds. But here in South Africa, even overseas, there are lots of breeds. We have quite a variation. In South Africa, locally we have quite a lot of staffies that do it, and they are so cute while they run. You smile the whole way while you watch them run down the lane. There's German Shepherds that do it. I know that a team in KZN used to have a toy poodle who used to do it. We've got like a Cavalier at the moment. So really all kinds, and loads and loads of crosses and rescues as well, crossbreeds. Barry also had a lovely crossbreed that he did flyball with. So all kinds. Could be any.
Yeah, and so Barry, I take it like in a team, because there's 4 dogs in a team, 4 dogs and handlers. So it could be any breed. So you can have a little dog and a big dog all in the same team.
Yes, absolutely. So the rules of flyball is that the height of the jumps actually go according to the smallest dog in the team. So dogs are measured their leg length from the elbow to the carpal is measured, and that determines the height of the jumps. So you can have 3 huge dogs in the team and 1 tiny little dog, and they all jump over the lowest height. So that's that just makes it fair for all the dogs.
Yeah, I've seen one TikTok video, and there's a small little dog with the other ones, and it's almost like he takes 1 step and then just flies over the hurdle, and then 1 step and flies over the hurdle. So I'm assuming that's personal preference for the dog, how they want to go over the hurdle.
Yeah. You want to aim for a single stride. That's the fastest. There's lots of strategy. And I was going to say, even having a small dog in a team with lots of big dogs can be a bit of a strategic choice, because you have then a bit of a height dog, gives the bigger ones an advantage. So there's lots of strategy that also goes into getting the best team to put forward. But it's not all dogs can do a single stride. We also, our one staffie, he does single strides down the lane, where he only takes 1 step in between each jump and then absolutely flies across the jumps. He is quite a star.
All right.
I've actually seen somebody sent me a TikTok video of a tripod doing flyball. 3 legs. I mean, that's absolutely incredible. But any dog can do it.
Yeah, so it just shows the versatility of the sport, that anyone can participate, and it's not, it's not just at competition level. So it is like, just to go and have fun, slot in with your local club.
So
it's open to everyone.
Yeah, and we have a lot of people who try and play with their dogs a bit, and then they take it easy. Maybe they don't compete. And also, I think that one of the best is the kind of retirees. We have quite a few people who do it with their dogs, and then their dogs get a bit old, and it's getting a bit hard on their bodies to do that much running, and or maybe they can't see down the lane so well, or something like that. And one of my favorite things is, even when they've retired the dogs, they'll occasionally bring them back to flyball, and we'll give them like a special little run, like just a little recall, maybe not in the lane, maybe just on the flat grass, and they just light up. They're like quite old, and as soon as they at flyball, they become like almost puppies again. They just have this excitement and light in them.
Oh, that's fantastic. So that brings me to my next question: is how are there things that you look for in a dog? Like, for instance, must they be a certain age to participate? Just criteria to ensure the safety, because it is a running sport.
Yeah. So definitely, we generally do wait until about a year of age. Sometimes we'll have people come a little bit early with their dogs, and we'll then work on a lot of like ground skills and just flat work. So not stuff that's hard on their bodies if they're young. But we are looking for certain skills and certain things in the dogs. One, they have to be able to get along with other dogs. Obviously, it's a team sport, so if there's aggression, or sometimes even we get dogs that are really, really overwhelmed and fearful, and I would then advise them that this is maybe not the sport for their dog. It's maybe a bit too much. Obviously, they're welcome and we can work on it, but so that's one. Can they get along with other dogs? We want the dog to have a recall. We are usually training at clubs where there are other people training as well, so you need to be able to get your dog back. They can't muck around too much, but those are also skills we do often help people with. If they don't have the perfect recall, we can work on that. And then the last thing is if your dog has some sort of drive, food drive or toy drive or ball drive, anything like that, will they work for something? So chicken eggs maybe, or a tennis ball or something like that. And then the rest of the skills we just kind of work on. Obviously, we talked about it as well. Although all breeds are welcome, not that we've had people with crazy strange breeds come, but if there was a breed where I'd be like, I'd maybe want your vet to clear this as well, just to make sure that the dog is sound and looking good. But yeah, I think those are the requirements for Flyball. Have I left any out, Barry?
No, I think you covered it all. I can just say that Flyball is the most fun your dog will ever have. Really.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I suppose it needs
Oh, I think we've lost Antoinette.
Yeah, I've got, sorry, someone very rudely phoning me. But yeah, I will sort that out later. So Barry, you work with pure rescue, and that's mostly power breeds, if I'm correct. And you've used the Flyball to help the dogs build their confidence and make them more adoptable. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I was introduced to pure rescue rehab and training shelter out in Melkbos by a friend of mine, Helen McLean. She took me there one day. We had a look around, and I thought, well, this is it. This is where I'd like to spend my weekends. And because of my background in Flyball, we thought we'd just try one or two dogs, and they absolutely loved it. So the only difference is, when you're working with power breeds, you can only work with one dog at a time. You can't have two dogs doing Flyball or four dogs running in a team, because they power breeds, and most of the rescues don't really like other dogs. So we work with one dog at a time, and yeah, we've had great success. We've had about 5 dogs being adopted who hadn't really caught the eye of anybody who was looking for a dog, but when they saw them in action, immediately the cute factor jumped in, and that's what made them more adoptable. But also, it does wonders for their confidence.
Yeah.
It relieves kennel stress.
Yes.
And like I say, the dogs really, really look forward to. Well, they seem to look forward. They love it.
Yeah.
They love it.
I think when they see you come on a Saturday, Barry, then the tails go crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, we have to be adaptable. We have to adapt. Pit bulls can't really use tennis balls, because they just one chomp and the tennis ball is done. So we have to improvise. We use hard rubber balls, which last a lot longer, and the dogs don't seem to mind.
Okay. Yeah, but I think the most important thing that you touched on is building that confidence in the dog, because often they come from an environment that was not safe or good for them. So that confidence building, and also building the bond with the human and the trust. I think is probably very important.
Yeah, absolutely. A shelter dog is not like a domestic dog. We only get to see the dogs once a week, whereas a domestic dog lives with its owner, Monday to Sunday. So the bond is so much stronger there. But as you say, yeah, it Flyball does definitely improve the bond.
I would just want to add to that as well. I think the one thing that's also amazing about, and not just flyball, but dog sport in general, is a lot of dogs really, really want a job. They really
Yeah.
want something to do. They like solving problems and trying to figure things out, and that does for when you have a pet as well, that it really strengthens your bond with them. They just, the focus on you and that energy is just totally different. But I can imagine that, at a rescue as well, just giving those dogs a job just makes a world of difference in their in their energy
Oh, it does,
and
absolutely.
confidence. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how, if I wanted to get involved in the sport, where do I start? How does the training start? How do you train? Because the dog is running, he's jumping over hurdles, he's pushing onto a springboard, he's grabbing a ball. How do you teach these things?
So the first thing that I want to say is, if anybody who's listening or watching wants to get involved, all over South Africa, I would recommend just going onto Facebook and joining the Flyball South Africa page and asking around there for the clubs, because we've got clubs all over and we can advise you on your closest club. But yeah, in terms of training, I mean, Barry used to be my coach, and I'm sure he could tell you a lot about how we used to train. It used to look very different. Level's grown quite a lot. But the simple answer to training would be, we break everything up into really small steps. We teach the dogs just over one jump, jumping over a jump, getting them to choose to jump over a jump. Then we had 2, then 3, then 4. And the jumps are actually the really easy part. It's changed. It used to be that, I think originally flyball used to be like a lever on that like flung the ball in the air.
Flung it up.
Yeah, and the dog just used to kind of scramble and catch it. And then it became a single hole box, and the dogs just kind of used to slam into the box and grab the ball and turn back. And now we have this thing called the swimmer's turn. So it kind of looks like when swimmers do that nice, beautiful turn underwater. It is a nice turn where the dogs put all 4 of their paws on the box, the front and then the back, and they either turn right or left. All the dogs kind of have a preference where they do that. And there's a series of ways that we teach that. I'm sure all the other clubs will have their own strategies, but we also build on that incrementally. We just first get them on a flat board, and then we kind of lift the board up at an angle slowly and get them to jump onto the board and onto the board. And then we can add the ball in, and yeah, so we just build on that skill slowly, and then we kind of put all the little bits together. But it is really cool because flyball is also very independent. I think with most of the other dog sport, the handler is there not holding their hand, but kind of holding their hand, being like, I want you to do this, want you to do that. Flyball's very, very independent. So the dog has to do most of the job on their own. We do teach them and we do help them, and there's certain things that we do, but a lot of it is independent. And so, yeah, that's also very, very cool that they have to problem solve.
Yeah.
If I can just say, when you look at the finished product and you watch flyball dogs in action or a flyball team in action, it looks so easy. People look at it and they say, "Oh, my dog can do that. My dog can jump," and but they don't realize how much work actually goes into it. A lot of people start flyball, they get involved, and they become frustrated because they aren't seeing results quickly. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes a long time to train a dog to run in a race, to be able to compete, and to do things properly. And a lot of people lose interest, unfortunately. Perseverance in flyball is probably one of the most important things, just to get people to understand that it's going to take time. Your dog is going to mess up. Your dog isn't going to be perfect from day one. It's going to take time. And it's all worth it in the end. You know, the
Yeah.
hard work that you put in is really worth it in the end, because there's nothing better than competing with three of your teammates, three other dogs, and just watching a race unfold in front of you. It's really such a fantastic feeling.
Mm. And I suppose the biggest thing is about the bond between you and your dog. Yes, you want to enter into the competition. Yes, you want to win. And I suppose that is where the perseverance comes in. It is about you and your dog spending time together and growing in your bond. And the result potentially is competing and winning. But I think the first prize would be, you know, the time you spend with your dog and having fun with your dog, regardless if they get it right or not.
I think
Absolutely.
that there's just nothing better seeing your dog running down that lane and just being like so happy. Or like when we're on the start line and we're all waiting to go, we rev them all up, we're very loud, and your dog is just like itching and basically trying to jump out of its skin to try get down that lane to the ball. That is just, you just know that they're so thrilled to be there.
Yeah. Barry, you as a judge, just explain to us how does how does that work? So do you get points? Do you lose points? I suppose it goes on the fastest time, or because there's two teams that usually compete against each other.
Yes. So there's two teams competing against each other. The team has to have a clean run. Well, they don't have to have a clean run, but if a dog messes up, runs out of the lane, or doesn't pick up a ball, that dog has to run again. So obviously it slows the time down and it slows the team down. So the team who has 4 dogs jumping over all 4 hurdles, retrieving the ball from the box, and finishing the race, obviously in the quickest time, is the winner. So if you have 2 teams that have clean runs, the fastest time wins. There are quite a few things to look for. Early crosses. You know, the dog can't cross the start-finish line before the dog finishing has crossed the line.
Okay.
So there's a lot of rules and regulations that govern the sport. But we aren't as advanced as the overseas clubs. The overseas clubs have timing devices that actually detect whether a dog is crossing early or not.
Okay.
So we still use the manual system, and we use the judge's good eye to make sure that there aren't any early crosses.
Okay, so you basically standing there where the dog is waiting, and I'm taking the handler is holding the dog, waiting for the other one to return. And then so you're checking that line to make sure the one has to go past the line before the next dog can be released.
Correct. The nose has to cross over the line before the next dog can go.
Okay. So when you say when a dog messes up, so for instance, if they jump on the board or they drop the ball, so then they have to repeat their leg of the relay.
Yes. Yes. So the dog that messes up returns to its handler, but then the next dog goes. And the dog that messed up has to wait until the end, until the third dog is crossed, and then go again. And that obviously slows the time down.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things too, you know, that happen in a race. Dogs get so excited, they run out of their lane and they go to the other lane and they pick up somebody else's ball, or they interfere with the other team, and it becomes quite frenetic. You know, the vibe is unbelievable. There is such a frenetic kind of atmosphere in a flyball competition. People screaming and shouting and dogs barking, and it just becomes an absolute, circus sometimes.
Yeah,
but
makes sense
for most, it's fun.
Yeah, it makes sense now what Lee said about, the dog needing to have a solid recall, and because with all that chaos, they can get distracted.
Yeah, and it does present a bit of a safety risk if a dog runs into another lane. You know, there can be a bit of a collision there, and some of them are going really fast. So we also try to wait till the dogs are quite solid before we have them start to compete. But what I was also going to say is about the rules. So there's quite a lot of people involved. So each team will have their own box loader, the person at the end who's actually putting the balls in the box, and they'll know which side to put it in. And then besides the judge, we usually have timekeepers and line judges. So they are watching for those crosses. The judge is a bit of a, I was going to say, I guess maybe a circus ringmaster is better, but I was going to say a bit of a conductor. They're standing there watching the whole orchestra. So the line judges will help with, so we usually have the timekeeper and the line judge to be the same person, but for very, very big shows, like when we do nationals, then we'll have individual people doing each of those roles. But the line judges will flag, and even if a dog drops a ball or they run out, they will flag so that the judge can see, and then that person has to rerun. But even the judging becomes a bit of a team sport where, like, if you get flagged, if your line judge tells you, even if the judge doesn't see it, you have to rerun.
Yeah. And like Lee said earlier, that the modern flyball boxes have two holes. So some dogs are left-handed and some dogs are right-handed. Some dogs turn left, some dogs turn right. And it's up to the ball loader to know which hole to put it in for the left turners and the right turners. And when a dog has to rerun, they have to remember which side to put it in, because if it's in the wrong side, the dog is going to mess up again. So it becomes the whole sequence of events.
Okay. So you guys basically, as a handler, you will practice skills at home, and then I'm assuming the team gets together on regular intervals, and then they practice their team strategy and things like that.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. And it's I'm assuming you put in a lot of time with the dogs to get the basics right.
Yes, it takes quite a long time. I think, a lot of people, as Barry said, loads and loads of people come and they're like, this is easy. Like I said earlier, the easy part is actually getting them over the 4 jumps. And even that's hard. Like, you put a brand new dog that's never gone over a jump, you put them in front of a jump, and you call them, you stand on the other side, they will run around the jump. They won't go over the jump. For them, the shortest path and the quickest way to get to you is to go around this object. So, all of these things, it does take quite a lot of time. We usually tell people to wait, mentally prepare for about a year before your dog will compete with your first one. Second one can be a little bit faster because you work on the skills a lot more at home and you know what you're looking for a lot earlier on. But it does take quite a long time from like first lesson to being in a competition, and some take longer. Sometimes we have I was talking about the skills, but we have dogs that have virtually no recall, and we start them in an enclosure or at a really quiet time, and we work on that recall, and it improves. And we've had so many handlers just say like, oh, their dog is so different. Even not a flyball, they go to the park and they're like, their dog is so into them, and they just are like, what are we doing next? So
Okay, fantastic.
With some of the dogs, once they know the job and they know what they're doing, it becomes like riding a bicycle. They never forget. They can stop doing flyball for a month or two, whatever, but put them back in the lane. They know exactly what to do, and you can actually see the excitement from their faces, how much they love it.
Oh, that's fantastic. Just the last question for both of you is common injuries that people should look out for. And then also, after you've had the competition or the practice session, do you do like cool down exercises or things to help the dog recover?
So I actually will say that flyball related injuries, we don't have that many. When we do see injuries, I would say about 80% of the time, it's from the dog stalling in the week and then getting injured. But my experience, and Barry, you can maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but my experience, the most injuries we see are more like collision based. So a few years ago, we had a dog cross early and they kind of ran into the jump, but subsequently the jumps have changed. They've made them wider, specifically for that safety issue. And sometimes the dogs will mistime their jump and they'll jump like into the jumps or mistime and land a little bit wrong on the box. So it's usually more a collision injury and then they've got a bit of a bruise or something like that. And yeah, we do warm up exercises with our dogs and cool down stuff as well. But I also would say quite a lot of the flyballers take really, really good care of their dogs. Can't tell you how many of them take their dogs to physio and do all kinds of strengthening, or like some people have like swimming that they do with their dogs to help strengthen them. So people get very, very invested in making sure that their dogs stay in tip-top shape and stay as healthy as possible.
Yeah, you see, the sport has also evolved, like Lee said earlier. In the early days, dogs used to do a slammer's turn, used to run into the box with their front legs, pound the box, pop the ball out, and turn around and run. And then there we saw injuries. But because it's evolved and the dogs do a swimmer's turn, it's much kinder to their bodies now. And injuries are few and far between, to be honest, if the dog warms up properly and cools down properly. But injury is not that prevalent.
Yeah. The one small injury that I'll say that we sometimes get is when they break in front of the box, they can hurt those little carpal pads. So that's why you might see they have like tape, like fat wrap that they put in, and that solves that, and then it protects their little carpals. But that also usually only happens when we're gearing up for really big competitions, like national.
Yeah, I think we've seen more injuries from handlers than we do from dogs. Like some handlers even forget to let go of the leash when their dogs are running and get dragged along. So yeah. That's the fun part of flyball.
Yeah, that can be interesting. All right, Lee, I see one of the questions was, what is the nearest club to Helderberg? I think Strand Agility asked there.
Yeah, I think so that would be somewhere in Cape Town. We were hoping for we had someone who was planning on opening a club in Stellenbosch, and they unfortunately moved to Joburg, so that was a little bit dashed our hopes there, but we're very happy for them in Joburg. But unfortunately, your closest club is going to be either Cape Handers in Milnerton or Cape Province in Pinelands. So those are.
And you two obviously are going to both be at the Nationals at the end of October.
For sure, yeah. Barry's judging on one of the days, so it should be really good. Yeah.
So people can, they can come and visit. It's from the 31st of October, I believe, to the 2nd of November.
That's right. And
Stadium.
And it's going to be all the dog sports, agility, obedience, if you're interested in any of them, rally, karting, all of those. So if you're interested, you just follow along on the page that I'm streaming from. The page. We're both on KUSA Classic 2025, both on Instagram and Facebook. Follow along there. There'll be loads of updates and information about the show at the end of October.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. My plane seat has been booked, so I'll be there as well. So I'm definitely going to chat to both of you. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to chat to you too, and I'd love to come and see what you guys do at Pure as well, because I do have a soft spot for the rescues.
Wow, that'll be amazing. Absolutely. We'll welcome you with open arms. Thank you.
We'll definitely
and anybody else who would like to volunteer at Pure, you are more than welcome. I mean, the dogs absolutely love being pampered by volunteers coming to walk them, feeding them biscuits, and just interacting with them. So anybody who has a free hour or two on a Saturday or a Sunday, you're more than welcome to pop around, even during the week.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I think what I'll do, because I am recording this live, and then once it's ready, I'll distribute it onto the YouTube and we can share it on social media. But I will add all the links, so like Lee, where people can get in touch with the Flyball Club and find out who their nearest group is to slot into. So I'll put all those links in the captions as well, and then people can just reach out. And I'll tag you two, so that they can DM you if they want more information, either about Pure or about Flyball in general, and getting into the sport and things like that. But yeah,
fantastic, great.
No, I'm super excited, and thank you so much for giving your time and telling us about your passion for the sport. And I'm really looking forward to the end of October. It's going to be fun and noisy by the sounds of it.
Thank you for featuring us in your wonderful magazine, really and truly. I mean, to get such exposure for both of us is fantastic. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us. Yeah.
Oh, you guys. All right, but you have a lovely weekend, and then I'll let you know as soon as the video is available.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Take
Thank
care.
you, guys. Cheers.
Okay.
Bye.
Cheers,
Bye.
everybody. Bye. Bye.